So much of what you teach us is about letting things in, let it touch you, let this in, let this person in, let the feeling in. It's so much of the foundation of what you are and what you teach. And so today's open talk is about letting things in, letting people in, letting others in, and just hopefully all the different aspects of what that is, what that means, why it's important, and maybe more important than any of that, how to do it. Because it's so counter to who we are and what we are on the personal level. I'd like to start with just a very basic question. You know, when you talk about letting people in, the first thing that comes to my mind is all the ways that we don't let people in and all the reasons we don't let them in. I mean, I might be angry at you or jealous of you or judge you, and I don't like that. So I don't really. Maybe I want to be around you so I can put you down, but I don't want to let you in. And then other times we feel those things from others. We feel others' anger, judgment, jealousy, rejection, and usually it's like, I don't want to feel that rejection. I don't want to feel that judgment. So there's all these different ways where we sort of push others away. How do we overcome that? All of that stuff, whether it's from the other or from ourselves, and just how do we open and just let people in, sort of no matter what?
It's like even with my own journey, this was a very basic. I kind of knew how much I am in the resistance. So then I begin to understand that resistance is something when we don't like anything, we close. We don't like people. Like basically is their behavior we don't like. We don't like their anger. We don't like if they are jealous, right? We don't like sometimes there's certain type of personality, strong personality. We don't like it. And this disliking is so familiar with person is familiar with it, disliking. And person knows itself whenever there's a disliking, close. And in disliking, close. And sometimes the people doing this over lifetime and they become more hard. Very, very hard people, right? Because they just keep on closing, they just keep on shutting. I don't like it, I don't want it. It's gonna destroy me, fear, all that is inside of the person. So when I started to see myself, I actually started from those people. I feel like they're gonna overpower me. They're gonna destroy me, right? So I allowed people within me to touch me. For example, their anger. For example, their nasty words sometimes, right? It's like people talking behind your back. It hurts you, right? When it hurts you, you close. This is a natural response from the human being.
Yeah.
And people are hurt so much, so badly over these lifetimes. And hurting is like we just keep on getting hurt from each other, right? Because we don't like to address that area. We don't stop and say, okay, I want to let this come inside of me now. I'm going to let it consciously hurt me consciously. It's okay. I can be available to that hurt, to that anger, to that nasty word, what is coming from outside. So just the moment when you're truly capable to let it touch you, and then there was a peace between that person and you is happening. And without that, like you can just stay in this resistance rest of your life, and there is this fight, ongoing fight is going on inside of you. Not only you, between two people.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like then slowly, if we take a further step, we don't like people who are in a bad habits, for example. Even for example, the people drug addict, people are stealing, people, those kind of, we just keeping them outside. Oh, it's a bad thing.
That's a good point. People who do bad things or people who ruin their lives or other people's lives, we just don't.
Yeah. There's a bunch of thoughts involved in that.
It's
Yeah.
very uncomfortable, actually, as I'm sitting here with you. It's like you don't want to kind of look at that or take that in. It's like let's just be with the good people or the okay people. And
yeah. And don't take me wrong, which is good for us to be around the good people. But this does not mean we close the door from everyone else at the same time. Because this way we don't understand our own human mind. We're keeping them outside. We don't understand ourselves. Because we already labeled it. It's a bad thing. As I said in the beginning, it's like this is how you make peace between two people. So even that, if we remove that label and then letting it come in, is destroying our ego, right? Destroying our beliefs, destroying our resistance. And what is bringing is the softness inside of you. At the same time, what you're dropping the judgment against those people. At the same time, it's like, just see that when I'm just speaking about letting it in, it's not like you go outside and physically let people in.
Right. It's not about how you act towards them or something.
Yeah. I'm talking about like you already know your resistance. Okay. You already know your labels, judgments, and all that. You know that you're resisting. So whenever you're sitting with yourself, you're walking, you see, and then it reminds you, you just let it in, let it touch you, let it really, truly, truly touch you.
It's funny, as you're talking, I feel the slightest, it's really subtle, the slightest bit of almost like shame. Yeah. And what I'm aware of is that, or what I'm feeling right now is that in pushing all those people away, I'm hurting myself.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And there's so much is happening that way. It's such a big misunderstanding. Letting consciously come in, even in the beginning, it feels so wrong. Trust me. It's like somebody's talking behind your back. I remember years ago, some kind of this happened. And then right at the moment, and I said, yes, 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 no, they're right. But even though I was like a little shaky, because this was my usual, like to close or to get hurt or cry and all that. But then I allowed myself as I let them in, but at the moment, and I said, yes, no, no more resistance. Because this moment and now I'm choosing not to keep anything outside of myself.
Okay, I'm just gonna, a couple of words you said just went in me, like you just said, okay, yes, they're right. I mean, that's a whole other step beyond taking them in. Do you, when you say they're right, do you mean you're agreeing with their criticisms, or you're agreeing with what they think?
I agree with it. I totally agree with their criticism.
Wow.
Yeah.
What if they say something just ridiculously, what if you don't agree? Or are you saying that we resist them because we secretly do agree?
It's like if we just keep on protecting ourselves, we keep on saying people are wrong.
Yeah.
And what happens is sometimes the person who has this even habit to criticize you, and sometimes that person is very right.
Yeah, sure. You don't want to hear it.
But yeah, exactly. So I don't know if the person is right or wrong. But at the moment, I want to say yes, because my choice, I want to make a peace with it now. It's not, it's like, I don't even know if this person is right or wrong. I don't even know that,
Okay.
right?
So it's more like you open up to the possibility that what they're saying is true.
It's like, it's not like a true. It's like whatever they're saying, you don't want to resist.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. I think I'm feeling it.
For example, like if I am being with someone some way, then the person says, you know what? I see you're a very angry person, for example, right? If I'm open enough, I will say, okay, I probably not seeing yet my own anger. So let it in. And the other way around, I can say, oh, you know what? This is not who I am, right? I can be everything else, but I cannot be angry person. This is a normal reaction, you know that.
Maybe I've had it once or twice.
So it's like just making a choice.
Wow.
To let it in. Because your choice, let it in. That is the true choice, though.
Just like you're, it's like you're stabbing yourself. They don't even have to stab you. Just, I'll take the sword here. Because it's just like whatever you're protecting against, whatever you're afraid of. Like if, like me, right? So like I've gone through my whole life trying to be Mr. Nice person and hiding all this anger, hiding all this selfishness. Oh, blah blah, nice guy. And somebody comes up to me and says, "You're full of crap. You're mean and selfish, and you manipulate people and all the things that I kind of do but don't admit fully." It's like the last thing I want to do is let that in. It's sort of just admit that and drop the act and say, "Yeah, let me just keep looking at what you're saying and letting those words
Yeah, it's
through.
just like what happens is if we really, truly, deeply let that reaction touch us deeply, what happens is it's like, you know, you drop in the bucket, in the still water, something outer drop, right? So the water is going to be disturbed in the bucket, and some kind of gunk is going to come up, which is,
That's our stuff.
so then you're going to see that, oh, okay, you know, that person was right. I have that. I have this anger in me.
I mean, I suppose if you have a reaction to something somebody says, there's already a defensiveness there.
Yeah,
It's
that
like,
defensiveness is our very automatic mode.
yeah.
You know, it's like we don't need to stay in that kind of mode. We need to be open now. Let others in. And letting others in, we begin to understand our own self, and we also earning peace within us.
I'm flashing to the most silly example of, it's very external. I'll just share it because it's kind of funny, but it shows the peace. I was once parked, my car was parked in New Jersey. This was years ago, and I just started to drive out of the parking spot. I didn't realize my car was in reverse. So I smashed into the car behind me, and the owner was right there. And he comes up to me, I roll down my window, and he goes, "What are you, an idiot or something? What are you, stupid? You just rammed in my car." And I just looked at him, I said, "Yes, I am the stupidest person on earth. I can't believe I just did that. I will pay for it. I'm so sorry." And his anger just melted because I just agreed with him. Yeah, that was really, really stupid of me. I didn't get defensive. I was apologetic. I was embarrassed. And I said, I agreed with him. And he didn't, it's almost like from his side, it was almost like he expected a fight. He wanted a fight. He didn't know what to do when I put my weapons down. And then, and you know what's funny? He looks at the car, he says, "It's fine, don't worry about it." And he just just let me go. It was just over. So it's, I think that's a silly example, but there's much more deeper examples that go through the same process that I think you're sort of talking about right now.
Yeah. Many these kind of episodes happen in our lives. The people sometimes they come very aggressively because it's like this is the way they think they need to communicate strongly, aggressively, so the other person don't lie or something. So everybody is protecting themselves. So but it's not everybody is choosing.
Right.
Not
Conscious.
everybody's making this conscious choice to let the other person in. And even for example, we spoke earlier about like the very aggressive people. It's like how we keep them outside. He's saying, okay, this person is completely ruined humanity, or so many people like that way outside. But the thing is, like the moment we letting them in, it's like our own mind is a softening and opening to the more. Otherwise, our own mind is plugged into that bad and staying in a narrow state.
I see. We're stuck in, okay. We're stuck in duality, of course.
Yes. Because what happens in the duality, like you see that duality is like if you are in the right side, you forget about the left side. You are in the left side, you totally blind of the right side.
And we do this with our moods all the time.
Yeah. It's like we carry no memory whatsoever to the other identity. And a person is a living in not in a duality, in a multiple separation, separated eyes. We've been talking about it.
Yeah.
So each time it's like one person is living and completely blind of the other eyes. And thinking, okay, I know better myself. We don't know ourselves. Our memory is not helping us. Or we can call it our identification is not helping us.
And we're identifying with certain eyes, and then if the other eyes don't go along with, this eye thinks a certain thing about himself, and if this other eye over here sort of goes against what this thing, well, I'm good, well, I just want what I want, well, you don't exist, I'm go away, and then it's not really, it's closed. Every eye is closed, of course, it's an eye.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what you said. It's just I. It's I.
Yeah, it can't be open. It's
impossible. It's just like, it's like when I'm identifying myself with a certain eye, I'm blind with the other eyes I have.
Because on a very simple level, even if these two eyes don't exactly fight, they're not exactly opposite eyes, even if they sort of have some things in common, they still have this big disagreement. I'm the eye. No, I'm the eye. No, it's me. And they can't agree, even if they're similar. They're just there's claiming and there's identification. Like they're not gonna truly get along. The core of who they are is this is the truth. No, this is the truth. They can't connect unless we consciously, like you're saying, bring them together, and then they dissolve. It's not two eyes anymore, and then that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. It's like, just see that what I said, our memory does not help us. So we need to earn consciousness. We need to earn this awareness through the consciousness to see this our dualities, to understand there is a bunch of eyes, not only one or two eyes, and we are blind to them. We are so much identifying ourselves with them.
Yeah, something's coming to me now that's really interesting. So tell me about this. Like, it strikes me that the reason the memory can't be relied upon is because the memory is specific to the eyes. Like, this eye has a certain memory because of the things he saw and looked at and when he was awake and when he was asleep and what he values. This eye has a completely different set of memories. So when you're in the good mood, you just remember all the good things.
Exactly.
Eye goes to sleep. This guy, the bad guy, comes and everything sucks and it's terrible. And now he has the different memories, and you just keep going back and forth and trading a set of memories for another. You never really remember the truth. You just remember different parts of the truth.
That's very well said by you.
That's really cool. And
this is happening. It's like, do you remember? And I mentioned, I said, you experience openness and you feel like everything opened up in me. Not everything. You know that all the years, how much people are opening. Yeah. Each time the person is thinking, that's it, that's all. I see everything.
Couldn't be more. This is it.
Exactly. But it's not like that. Just the way you said it, it's just one set of memory part opened up, and it just sees its world.
Yeah, and I guess when you're used to living so narrowly, when you step into the vastness, it seems so vast. You can't imagine that there's even something more vast and more vast. And it's hard to, the mind can't think in that infinite way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's what I always says. It's like we are earning the ability to be in the more. The one cannot be in the more because it's like it doesn't even know what more is.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Because only if the one set of the eye, the memory opened up, it's just like you just know this much and this much. Wow, amazing,
Uh,
big, vast.
yeah, where you feel the whole universe. You're like, that's, and you do kind of in a way, but it doesn't mean it's everything still, even then.
Exactly. This is a really simple example you said. When we open like something pleasant, lovely, and we think, wow, this is just a lovely, beautiful world.
Mm.
And we are in a depressed mode, same world.
Yeah,
It's a totally opposite.
with a new set of belief systems and opinions and judgments. It's almost
Yeah.
like crazy when you really think about it. We're just completely different people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow. Yeah, that's really wild.
yeah,
Like to talk about your memory isn't, you can't even hold that in your hand
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's not even.
Memory does not help you. It's a good, it's incredible when you open and then you can see things more than before. It's like the world opened up, beautiful world opened up. Wow, it's amazing. Everything looks alive, everything looks fantastic, amazing,
Mhm.
right? But the other time somebody touches your different part, or you go back into something depressed or angry or disliking mode, same person again.
And we
Now it's no longer pleasant, it's no longer amazing.
and now that I think about it, each one of those eyes, like that you just brought up, that example, right? The open, beautiful, loving eye and the closed, bitter, whatever eye, right?
Mhm.
They kind of, they both think they're right. And
Of course.
the other guys, even the open, loving eye, who goes, everything's beautiful. And the grumpy eye goes, no, it's not. He goes, no, you're wrong. Even the loving eye sort
Yeah.
of judges the negative eye in a strange way because the negativity isn't true. No, the negativity isn't true. There's openness in God and love. Well, you're judging him, loving eye. Like, let him in too. It's so tricky. Like, we really, all the eyes, even the open eyes, are still not fully open to the closed eyes. Like, more opening could happen to really let them come together.
Yeah, it's just like more and more when you can see your two opposite eyes as is. So this is how you keep on earning this togetherness. But then again, it's like some people gets frustrated by what I'm saying. It says something touches you again, and then that duality appears again. And it is happening, as I said, if your bucket is still, something strong has to drop into the bucket in order to bring more out from you, which we don't like. But this, what comes up, is just helping us to see our deeper levels and more dualities, more different hidden eyes being appeared.
Yeah, I'm just, as you're talking, feeling into how much you're right that for all of us, but for me, like I really don't like it. Like I've done so much to sort of try to create a little bit of safety, calm, like just relaxedness, because I get so anxious so easily. And then when I'm anxious, I can't open it all. I'm just trapped in the top of my head.
Yes, yes,
You know,
yes,
so it's
yes,
like,
yes,
but I'm
yes.
also aware that I'm scared of that bucket. Like I have this belief that, okay, if the bucket gets really rocked, I'm going to go there again. So it's like, don't get too crazy. Don't get too out of control. Don't get too shaky kind of thing. Like little subtle fear of really just jumping into the hurricane.
That's what I always mention. Like whenever the person is in a good mode, openness, it's like that is the time you bring the other side in
You do say this a lot.
a lot,
Yeah.
because that is the time you keep on forgetting about the other side. You kind of denying the other side.
You
Because
know,
most of the time is the person is thinking, okay, you know what? I did have that side before, but I don't have it anymore. But just don't listen to that thought.
you're kind of eating the donut. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I'm finally happy.
Yeah.
Don't ruin my donut. It's like, wait, let the dog crap in too. Like, just bring it all in. But at that moment, you indulge in that feeling in a personal way. It's really subtle because you think you're loving God, but the personalness creeps in, and I think you just keep eating the donut and you don't let. Because you're right, that's the time when you're feeling really beautiful and strong and open. That's the perfect time to let all the darkness in. But
Exactly.
we don't want to ruin the party.
Because that time you are actually more honest with yourself.
Because you can take it.
It's just like you are in the best position, best mode, openness, and the same time you're choosing to be open to the opposite side of yours. That's the very honest way of being open. Because everybody wants to open when it's in a not a good mood, good, or in a trouble, all that. I'm suffering. Everybody wants to open up at that moment, but nobody wants to open when the person is already in a beautiful amazement way of being here.
That's really, really good. That's really, really good. Really good. I think I've known this before, but I'm taking it in a little more as you're saying it now. And I'm sort of like making a mental note, like next time, well, I feel pretty good and open right now, even just sitting with you. But in general, as a rule, when I feel that, don't just eat the donut, like welcome all the dark parts too. Let them come together.
Yeah, that's an amazing honesty. It's just like, because now you're really choosing.
Yeah, you got the donut right in your hand and you sort of say, it's okay,
Yeah.
I don't need the donut right now.
Yeah. It's just like no reason behind it. There's no self-gain behind it.
Yeah. The self-loss.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Even as you're guiding me and guiding us as a group right now, I feel just an invitation into the smallness to where, and I don't know because it's not happening, but I feel like if somebody were to come say, you're a jerk, you're angry, you're blah to me, like I feel like there's more space to just in a humble way say, that might be true. Like, I hear you. Like, I'm not going to push you away for saying.
Yeah, it's like inside. It's like, just remember, you are being disturbed. Your hidden parts being disturbed. It's a very strong word coming inside of you. It's just shaking your bucket.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, it's going to take some time. It's not going to just, this word is going to satisfy you. Okay, I'm jerk. It's just more than that. It takes much, much more than that, because it's had disturbed you. It had disturbed the sleepy areas of yours, right? So the more is coming up, and the more presence is needed. You need to be there as is, and let yourself be seen, right?
See all
So
the
just see that.
disturbance.
Yes. It's like just see that, like your disturbed parts. It's like all of a sudden they're awake, and the shock. Some they're angry, some they're resisting, some they are criticizing. Not everything is going to be agree with all at once. But longer you stay, you're being open. And then that true okayness it's just gonna be earned by you as is, its own ways. Because you being open, sincere, you just letting yourself be seen by you. And then because of this peacefulness, what you're earning, and then at the end of the day, your head goes down in others' feet. Because other has shown you the parts you unable to see by yourself.
Wow. I was actually going to ask you about that phrase, being in somebody else's feet. So this is,
Yeah.
let me just go back 60 seconds and just try to unpack, because that was a lot that you just said. So what I'm hearing is, it's, first of all, of course, you can't just say, okay, I accept these horrible things you're saying about me. It's not just like, done. But it's almost like what you're really opening up to. Yes, you try to open up to the person, but what you're really opening up to is all the parts that get shaken, that the person's words shook in you. You're really opening up to yourself, and letting yourself into yourself, and just seeing what's coming out of that bucket and shaky, and sort of being with that and digesting that allows you to then let the person in, and then you feel the gratitude towards the person because they facilitated your joining with yourself, your oneness with yourself, your acceptance of yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because person really, really, truly has helped you.
Yeah. But you only see that once you're through it a little bit. You don't see it until you see it, until you've integrated enough where you start to feel the gratitude starts to happen, kind of thing. In the beginning, it's of course very challenging. Somebody says something hurtful, and
It is very challenging in the very beginning. We need to understand that, because most of the time it's just denial. Or I'm okay. Most of the time the people says, oh, I'm okay, I'm not hurt, I'm not angry.
And some people get too hurt, they get dramatically hurt,
Yeah.
the poorness, and
Yeah.
sorry for themselves.
Yeah. Some people, they are so hurt, then they're gonna close the door lifetime way.
You can even close with, I feel like you can even close with guilt, even if you do. Yes, you're right. So you almost make it too big. Yes, I'm the worst person ever. I'm terrible. It's like a trick or a way to not really see the reality of what's being brought to you.
Because you don't really think of it. It's like, as I said, this is so mechanical.
Yeah, we just react with whatever way we do to protect ourselves.
Yeah. We always stay away from that street, because it reminds you the hurt. You want to stay away from it. You want to stay away from those people.
Yeah,
But in reality, it's like just see that what I said earlier, that person really opening your hidden parts, and it's just actually waking you up, purifying you, right? And that's how we are so one. We are so one, but we create the separation.
You mean one with each other?
Yeah, we are all one though. It's like, you know what? It's like it's just keep on coming in me, this line. I think it's from the Eastern, or I just kind of knew this line from so many, I watch maybe religious episodes or something like that. It's just like he says, the God comes in every form to you. It tests you. It comes to the form of the thief. It comes to the form of a beggar. It even comes in the form of a dog. Dog, you know. It's just like, it just, what it meant by is like, you know, it's like it can appear front of you in any kind of form. Right? It can be a very nasty person, but that's what it means. If you let that nasty person completely do whatever the work it can do inside of you, and then end of the day, it's no longer that nasty person. You say, my goodness, thank you so much.
It's God.
It's a God. That's how they just put everything like simple way, that we cannot just judge. We cannot judge the beggar. We cannot judge the thief. We cannot judge the liar. It's just like, you know, you never know which part is gonna open up inside of you.
It's kind of revolutionary in a way.
It is, yeah, it is.
I mean, you could just say it very simply, if you judge somebody, that instantly they are God because they have a gift for you if you let them in. Like anybody you judge, when you stop judging and let them in, they've given you a holy gift. So everything you're judging is the God kind of thing.
We are all one though.
Yeah, so you're pushing yourself away.
Yeah.
If we're really all one, then that's a form of self-hatred, you could say, to push the other away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I really feel that right now. Like I really feel the sadness of that. It's not dramatic feeling. It's just a subtle feeling, but it's like this sort of like sorry that I hate myself kind of thing. But it's not just pointed this way. It's just anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's so much self-hatred. I hate you. I'm really hating. Because in the moment that you're judging somebody, you never feel good. I mean, I've known this for years. I've talked with other of my spiritual friends and old spiritual teachers, and I've had moments where I'm in the middle of judging, and I've just said, "How do you feel right now?" You never feel, "Oh, I feel so good. I'm judging this person." Nobody feels good.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? That's you're hating yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we really weren't one, that wouldn't bother you at all. Ah, that guy's a jerk. Who cares? But it doesn't feel good to say those things because you're cutting you're strangling your heart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I just feel that I'm in that more than I'd like to be. I'm aware. It's nice. It's actually, I'm really grateful to feel that awareness in this moment. And kind of funny in a way, So because I'm feeling it, I guess in a strange way, I'm grateful towards the hatred because it's teaching me that that's not the way. So
Mm-hmm.
you can
Mm-hmm.
really keep going with this, like everything, even your own darkness inside you is the God once you let it in, because it's opening you up from inside too.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And I can almost feel my head just kind of wanting to come down to the anger,
Yeah.
to
Exactly.
and more of an invitation into smallness, but like in a natural way. Like I'm not being small, it's just smallness is coming kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So much smallness, so much our down is needed. This is the quality we are earning. We keep on earning.
Yeah, I see that from this moment. I see that, and I see that normally it's like I'm this big inflated balloon of knowingness and egoness and knowledge and attitudes, and it's just big kind of bloated, big balloon, big fat balloon.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All that stuff really takes you away from this. Yeah, what's coming is like if this if this smallness and head downness, if this is the maturity, then like 99% of the time I'm so immature, like so much immaturity, just walking around, just living that way from that childish, big, almost like everything's like a tantrum. Everything's like a tantrum compared to
Mm.
this. Even good moods are a tantrum compared to this because there's this good mood, burr, burr, burr. There's so much claiming and rightness, and I don't know. Everything just seems so big from this little smaller
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it also seems to me in this place that, you know, like the words that are coming in, those angry words from others that we're talking about, it's sort of, I want to say irrelevant. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter whether they're right or wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not relevant. What's relevant is opening and being in this smallness and being in this head downness and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
honoring, even honoring the anger in the other person or the judgment in the other person, because you can relate to it. And I don't have quite the words or the full understanding in
Mm-hmm.
this
Mm-hmm.
moment yet. But
Because in the beginning, what is happening is like the person is already in a protective mode out there, like, head is way up high, right? So it's like already in the protection mode. It's like it doesn't even know what word is coming, it's already protecting.
yeah,
So it's like that's why this is not intelligence. This is just it's like we can call it egoistic mode or protective mode or ignorance,
mhm.
right? It's like so when this begins to come down, and then the real knowledge you are entering into. The real knowledge means it's like, I see, okay, this wasn't true.
Yeah.
This is what real knowledge does. It's like it just brings you down and helping you to open your eye. The way you've been living is not true way of being.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever you were calling is right, it wasn't right or wrong.
Yeah, it's almost like the knowledge is just like this soft, quiet knowingness that, and we're so loud we can't hear it. And when we quiet ourselves down enough, it just starts to just flow into us like we knew it all our lives. And that's why when people are with you and connect with you, it's like we just see stuff, and it's like there's, yeah, it's just in us. It's not a big deal. And I almost think it's in us all the time, but we're so loud, we're so big and loud. We just think we get confused with our own little personal knowledge. We don't know what's true, or it's just a big mess.
Exactly. It's very subtle, and it's always been there.
Yeah.
And it's just the noise is too loud, or personalness, or ignorance, or sleepiness. It's like it's just everything is so loud that we are away from our, or keeping ourselves away from our own knowing.
And it feels, of course, louder in this place that I'm touching right now, because with the taste of the quiet, you really go, oh my God, I've been so loud. Like you don't even, when you're playing the rock and roll music and you're just dancing, you don't even know how loud it is until you play the Bach or the Chopin or the classical, and you go, ooh, that rock music's loud.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and the just going to keep walking down this sort of, this is so different from all the questions I had to ask. It's very interesting, this conversation we're having. But even the love of the friends seems sort of kind of big or distracting, or, and it's weird to say because I adore my friends so much and they're so important to me, but it feels like this smallness is almost like there's just no room for anything, any of them.
That's really, really meaningful what you are realizing this moment.
And I'm not gonna lie, it like scares the crap out of me too, because like I want to cry, like I don't want to lose, I don't want to lose my friends.
Exactly. Yes. It's just like what you are losing is this form of what you believe is my friend. This is what you don't want to lose. But deeper you go, you are in this true knowledge. And then at the same time, you see that it doesn't seem real. It doesn't seems like it's a love or something, what I was claiming of my love, my friends, my love,
And
my
that's
security,
what your
right?
fist is doing right now is what it feels like. It feels like sort
Yeah,
of personal grabbing or something.
yeah, yeah. But deeper you go in your knowing, and then you're unable to hang on to it, right? Because you are you are with your knowing. You cannot lie to yourself here.
Yeah, it's
But
not.
yes, this form is you're just beginning to lose, or even you're terrified, but you're beginning to lose this form, what you have been hanging on to, what you have been believing so strongly, my friend, my friend, my friend.
I think I've been dragging my feet a little bit on my walk, and I think this is one of the reasons why.
Hmm.
Like, and it's funny that we're talking about this now, because I kind of said to myself a couple of days ago, I want to raise my hand for a connection, not just an open and talk about this, because I feel like I'm going to lose them all. It just breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I also know with my head, not with all of me, but I know that there's a deeper, truer love with them that's there, and that I don't understand that, and that it's okay. Like I know that it's okay, but on a personal level, it's really like it doesn't feel okay. Like I'm scared.
Yes, yes,
So like I
yes.
half know the truth and I half don't know the truth.
Yeah. It's just like, it's like anything you identifying yourself with. It's your identity. Your friend became your own identity inside of you.
Makes sense.
Right? So when it's like you're stepping down, into your knowing, you're coming closer to your knowing. And then that identity becomes visible to you, that, oh, that's identity. That's, I'm trying to hold on to my false identity form
Mm.
as a friend. Right? So that identity, of course, in the beginning is going to be shaken.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you are entering into this knowing as well. You cannot lie to yourself.
I
Even
see.
though your heart is breaking, fear is there, and loneliness, feeling alone,
Mm.
in a true sense feeling alone, because you thought this is gonna give you company rest of your life, right? And now you just losing that, you losing that company.
There's also, I think, in the thank you, by the way, that definitely makes a lot of sense. Um, I think there's another aspect for me in this, which is I have a big thing about loyalty, partly because, I when I was 18, I moved to New Jersey, and in New Jersey, there's this phenomenon called the Italian American personality. People see it on the TV shows, the mob shows and stuff. And a lot of my friends are Italian, and they're not mobsters, they're not criminals, but there is this ethic in that group where you're just loyal, like you're loyal to your friends, and it feels like betrayal to let them dissolve. It's personal, I see that, but it's like another belief system. Like you kill for your friends, you die for your friends, you do anything for your friends. It's also, of course, I see that it's also convenient to see oneself that way, because then you can hide the part of you that's not such a good friend, the part of you that does betray, the part of you that doesn't care. Like there's games that get played inside me. I see that, but it's also another belief of just like I don't want to betray them. And I'm just sharing. I know that it's got to go. I see that. I'm just bringing it to, since we're talking about it. I just want to be as honest as I can.
It's all gonna come up.
Yeah.
It's a normal for any identity to die consciously. It's a normal. It's the same reaction.
Yeah, it's challenging.
Yeah. But there's consciously losing, consciously, and from the heart. Like, it's not a negative thing. It's just from the heart. When you're losing that identity of yours, it's taking you back to your knowing, to this higher knowledge, which is completely different than the mind knowledge.
Yes. Yes. And I just keep opening up in this pattern. Now I'm seeing that on a deeper level, like I'm scared to be abandoned. So I'm going to be really loyal to my friends, and hopefully they'll be loyal to me, so I won't be alone, because I feel so incapable of taking care of myself. I feel so don't trust myself in the universe, don't trust the universe with me, don't feel safe.
Yeah. It's like whatever you're saying, it's like, to me, nothing is, it's not unfamiliar to me. I know this. It's like I've been through this again and again.
Okay.
It's not you, it's like just you saying it and you feeling it. We all feel the same way whenever we lose our identity. Because everybody wants to lose the entities, but we don't want to lose the identity. Because identity is so dear to us.
Right. We love the identity. Want to hug it like a teddy bear, hold it forever.
Yeah. And if you remember about when we were reading Gurdjieff's book, do you remember he was saying, it's like we are ready to give anything which is useless to others. We're ready to lose anything useless. But the true losing is when you're truly losing something is so dear to you. That is the true losing.
Yeah, I've always known that in a way I'm not a generous person, even though in other ways I am a very generous person. And the ways that I'm generous are the ways that don't matter to me. It's not a big deal, but when it's a big deal, I'm not so generous. So I see the limitation of even the personal giving on a superficial level, let alone what you're talking about.
Mm.
Yeah, with all of that personal, everything I've said over the past 5 or 10 minutes on one level, and I don't mean this in a dismissive way, but it almost like doesn't matter because the truth is the truth, period.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it makes perfect sense too. It's like what it feels right now is like we just, as we wake up, we just become part of this flow. Like I almost feel the flow in me right now. And it's just, we just start being invited like into that flow. And you can't have buddies or favorite people or even favorite foods. It's just all kind of irrelevant. It just doesn't fit.
Yeah. It's like just see that when we are identifying ourselves with any identity, it's like we're creating this individuality. Then we are stuck in that individuality. Individuality means it's like something solid, we are holding on to it. Of course, it's going to blind our vision. So when we are losing that identity, even if it's a dear, dear identity of ours, when we're losing it, it's a clearing. It's like something is being removed front of your eyes. Your vision is more open. You can see far. You can see more. You can relate with more. Right? For example, you're losing a few friends, right? But if you are letting yourself be in this a bigger, deeper level of this knowledge, it's like the gain is multiple way more. But of course, it's not the same way the way before you were before. But the other hand is so much more than that. Because in a way, we are in this knowledge is so we are in a multiple friends there, right? That's what the knowledge is. That's where the knowledge is.
That's the paradox. Is in a true way, you're actually closer with them now.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just personally, it feels less close. It's just
yeah. Because you're craving to hang on to that identity. Because if it makes you secure, it makes you feel good. Even though you don't, in reality, you don't feel good because you're always in the fear of losing your friends.
True.
Always. Any identity you are holding on to or identifying yourself with, behind that identity is a fear.
Fear of not existing anymore.
Because any form is like, it's a temporary. Any identity is just a temporary identity. It's like I just borrowed something. I want to play a little bit with it, right? But it's gonna be gone. Because in a reality, it doesn't exist.
I love it when I'm in the place where everything you say seems so logical, which is such a strange word to use for a spiritual teacher, but everything you're saying is just so clearly logical, like it makes perfect sense. It's almost, you can't even argue against it, what you're saying. It's just so true. It's almost obvious when I'm in this place.
Exactly.
Listening to
you.
you.
When you're there, yes.
It's just so true. It's like I feel the power of your words.
And in this more is so much more is available to us. And we are much more than ever before. But at the same time, the mind is craving. Mind wants to taste something solid.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm aware of in this place is that this flow is almost like a river, or I don't know what the words are, but it's like that's actually our home. That's actually what we are.
Exactly. Yeah.
And to that home we must return.
Yeah.
And there's nothing solid in that flow. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's no friends. There's no enemies. There's no other. There's just a flow. And so everything has to go.
Yeah.
And there's so much ignorance in holding on to the friend because you don't realize that you are that friend. It's like kind of stupid. But I can't let go of them. But you are them. Just let them in. They can't abandon you if they wanted to because they are you. Like this whole thing is just based on misunderstandings. Like once there's the other, everything gets so crazy.
Exactly.
Like you can have rejection and judgment and all these feelings and losing a person. It's all of that ceases to exist in the flow, in the oneness, because there's nobody to reject. There's just flow. It's amazing how complicated everything gets when there's the other.
Mm. Mm.
And you can almost see how the system, it's almost like I'm seeing, okay, that's weird. I'm almost seeing like when sperm fertilizes an egg and there's conception and the growth starts, it's like there's the kind of, there's one cell, and then there's two cells, and then there's four cells, and then there's eight cells, and it just grows and grows and grows and grows. It's almost like this with people, outside and inside. Like it just gets more and more complicated and more individualized and more separation and lack of communication and complicated relationships and everything's, then you need that personal mind to even try to understand it or to deal with it. But it's so much complexity that all got created by the other.
Mm.
Just that simple otherness. If that wasn't there, it would just be like beingness all the time.
Yes.
Then something else is coming in and sort of saying, even with what I just said, it's not everything. And that there's also this idea that all of this otherness, and I don't know if this is a story, but almost like this whole journey kind of had to happen. To return means you have to leave. To come back to oneness means you have to be in the confusion. To come out of the ignorance, you need ignorance to be like, it's all okay. It's part of our, it's part of our journey to come home in a more meaningful way.
Yes.
I'm thinking of my friend Martine right now, who had that really nice connection with you a few weeks ago about how she has nightmares. And you just said, she said, should I just let them break me or destroy me? And you just said gently. And it's like, maybe that's where she is, but it's still letting in all this pain and darkness and murder and rage and raping and killing. It's like that is part of our journey home, I guess, in some crazy way.
Because this human form is a very precious form. As you just have beautifully have described, we need to be lost in order to be found. You know, it's like as we are in the form, we do feel lost. We feel separate. We feel the pain. Okay, because we are human beings. And while we are in this form, we are able to return back home, which is just amazing.
So the fact that we are separate is what allows us to return.
Yes, because it's like that ability we have earned as a human being. It's like, what a form. I was just sitting just the other day and I was just feeling like I was in wonders, in amazement of this whole form of a human being.
When you say form, do you mean just
It's just like its ability. It's like its ability to acknowledge, who am I?
like the whole, not just the physical form, but everything that goes with it?
Yeah, it's just like discovery. It's like the discovery able to be acknowledged by this form. You know, I can feel it, I can see it, I'm conscious of it, I'm aware of it. It's like everything. Like you see the ability we have.
To be self-aware, to journey inside,
Yeah,
to
like
learn.
I can I have ability to know, ability to see, ability to feel. Who am I?
Yeah.
It's like I'm holding that possibility as a human being. It's just amazing. It's just amazing.
And we can really go on a journey with this vehicle and this mind and this heart and
This
its
is,
feelings.
yeah, this is just, it's like you really want to bow in front of this universe to say thank you, to make this form available. You do.
Yeah, it's almost like the form is the road back home.
Yeah, yeah,
This is our road.
yeah. This is, it's just amazing. It's like time to time you're just realizing different ways.
This is the first time I've had a taste. I mean, once in a while you will say this form is perfect or this form is amazing, and I kind of get it, but I don't. It's like I'm getting a taste, just a taste of what you're saying right now.
Yeah, yeah,
That we're just capable, like just on a very simple level, we're capable to walk.
yes, yes. That's what that was so amazing to me, that possibility we have. And in the very beginning, and the very first, I think the website, I remember even Amandeep, he just made that website, the very first one.
Oh, is there
It was
something?
just like a picture, and we call it website kind of thing.
Mhm.
But I remember in that there was a line of everybody has this possibility, and I was so loud and clear, I wanted to scream to the human beings, like, you guys have this possibility.
Wow.
And when anyone, even you are sitting in front of me and saying it, and that comes back to me, yes, yes. It's like it's multiplying my amazement when someone else is realizing, you're realizing. It's amazing. I got to see you in this possibility. I can see other people in the possibility. It's amazing.
You're almost speaking the words of what it means to be a loving teacher, like a true teacher. To overjoy, to feel the joy in somebody else's progression, their walk, their growth, to have it almost create amazement or gratitude in you is just so humbling. It's absolutely
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's just like, for example, it's like the true teacher is like, to me, is like from longest time, it's just like is the real mother to the student, the true teacher. Mother and father, both actually.
Yeah.
It's like the mother is, in a sense, is this teacher is keeping the student in its own womb for a long time.
Mhm. That's great. That's really beautiful.
And this is, so whenever there is, like, the birth is happening, and yes, it's just like, of course, my beingness is just cherishing with this joy, amazement.
The sheer size of your love is inspiring. I, I can't help but see how I'm sometimes that way with my own students, but rarely to that degree.
Mm.
I have been brought to tears at times for sure, but it's rare.
Yeah.
And your love for, I see now in this place that your love for your walk is your love for our walk.
Yes, yes, equally. Like, I go through difficult times. It's just like, because others are, it's up to other person as well. Like, I can't control it. I can't. But at the same time, I'm keeping that person in my womb, in my care, in my, just open to, willing to give whatever possibly I can give. And moving through those difficulties, and then whenever there is some true amazement is happening, it's, of course, it multiplies both ways.
It's crazy to see how genuine your love is. It's amazing. It's like you're almost like you're like a sun, like with your nuclear power heart. It's just so bright and hot and big and powerful and just honest.
Yeah, I don't see myself that way, but once in a while, whenever the true moment comes, it it just, it warm my heart. It just bring the joys in my whole beingness. And yes, I, to me, is like, I always want more to, how I can give more, how I can be more purer, how I can be more, like, it's always, it's never enough to me. I wish I'm more everywhere. Right? It's just like, it's like this is how we are growing. Even like, you opening, you said many words, even in this our conversation, it touched me. I'm growing with that.
I just have this feeling like, and this is part from my culture in the Old Testament, the Jewish part of the Bible, kind of thing, however you want to word it. There's like the people wander in the desert. They walk in the desert for a long time to search for home.
Hmm.
And there's the leader, but the leader's walking with them. Like we're all walking together.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's
Yes.
really touching me right now because I feel like we're walking. You're our leader, and you're leading us, and we're walking, and
Yeah.
you're growing and seeing things, and we're growing and seeing things, and
Yeah. Yeah.
we're in your care.
Yeah. 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 In a way, like, even with the leader, we're all going through good and bad times. difficult times, easy times. It's like it's a part of our growth.
Even the words you just said, like I feel maturity, invitation to maturity coming in. That's such a mature thing you just said. Right? It's not like you're seeking out the joy. You're just being with what is and open-hearted.
Yeah. Totally present. It's like I cannot deny the difficult times. But difficult times, as we started talk earlier, is helping us to grow.
Right. Bow your head. It's difficult times.
Yeah.
As many beautiful connections as I've had with you, as many times as I've been brought to tears at times and seen your tears, I don't think I've ever felt the purity. Any word I use is going to be a stupid. I've never felt your love so cleanly as I'm feeling it right now. And I don't mean your love for me or personally.
Exactly. Yeah. Because you see, like wherever you are, this is the way you can taste. This is where you can taste from. You are in a much purer, deeper state of your beingness this moment. And this is how you're gonna experience my love. Okay. And that's why you remember that. I always said this love grows.
Yeah, I'm feeling like it yeah, it is. I feel like there's a it's crazy to say because I've felt it so many times, but in a deeper way, I feel like a tenderness from you and with you towards you as well. And I feel a tenderness towards my teacher, and definitely from my teacher.
Because it's just your love, your respect, your realization. It's just like your openness. It's all meeting. It's all coming together and tasting something which is very dear to you.
It's very special.
Yeah.
It's kind of inviting me more into just like the smallness.
Yeah.
And we're so lucky to have you as a teacher, and I feel like part of that gratitude is even so grateful that I have a teacher who's grateful to be on this walk. Like it's like you yourself are grateful, and that is so there's so much smallness in you that you have all this power over us, but you feel gratitude instead, which is so not powerful. It's so inspiring, I think, to all of us. And it's such a beautiful invitation into it's like if anybody among us would have a reason to be big, it would be you, of course. You know so much, blah, blah, blah. But here you are saying, no, all I am is just more and more loving and grateful and appreciative. It's like so much smallness is in you. It's just, you're such a beautiful leader in that way. It's like, we could be so much more grateful. It's kind of amazing. It's such a beautiful quality in you. And I don't think I believed it before. Like I saw it, but I was, she can't be that small. Like there was a doubt in my own egoistic mind as far as something, your purity or something, but I really see
And
right
of
now.
course, it's like when you don't really label yourself, it's like It's like for example, it's like when you don't label yourself, it's like a new beginning all the time. Okay. If you label yourself, you're somewhere, and then you're gonna miss the opportunities, which is just here right now at the moment. Even in our conversation, I said, so many words you're speaking is touching me because they're coming from a purer state of your beingness. And some words I'm saying is touching you. It's like, just see that. That's what I meant by quite early on. I said, it's just to gather as a group. We are growing. And at the same time, of course, you guys have to have a leader. You guys have to have someone. You have to have it. Yeah. And but at the same time, if I don't grow, then all this is gonna fall apart.
Yeah, it's not real. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In order to grow, you have to have an honest leader. You have to have it. I'm not claiming I'm honest, but I'm saying I have to be honest.
Yeah. Yep. That's beautiful. I totally hear you.
Yeah. Yeah. When I know I need to be honest, then I'm open to see, open to receive, open to be destroyed.
I feel this overwhelming gratitude right now to be here in this town, physically close to you. Able to do, I mean, I could do Zoom from anywhere. It's not just that, it's just to be in the same town.
Yes.
I just feel,
Yes.
feel
Yes.
grateful.
Yes. Yes. And yes, this journey is everything to me. Everything.
It's never been more clear that that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just since I started to walk in this and I started to see, because you see your ignorance you have been living in, it encourages you to earn more and more and come closer and closer to your knowing. It doesn't matter, like whatever comes, even this little sickness came, you cannot believe it, how grateful I was. I said, wow, this is the first time I let this sickness come and touch me and destroy my ego. It was so amazing.
It's funny. A week ago, I literally thought somehow she's going to be grateful that she's sick.
It was literally, I was telling Mark, and I said, Mark, it's just like my heart is just like a glowing to say this, scream it, like, wow, it has destroyed my ego. It's just like instant way I saw how outside things are coming and landing in me, right? If it's coming and landing in me, of course, if there was any kind of a resistance or my words I have shared with other people was against it, against this sickness, and I, it's like everything was destroyed. It purified me. It was so amazing what is happening. And not only one thing, and I saw many things. It's like things are so happening. Whatever's happening is just happening. It's just if I am available, it's just gonna purify me.
All right, can you, I just want to stay here for a minute if we can, because this is really interesting and I think important. And I know even when I get a cold, I'm like in the resistance. So
Yeah.
can you just run this by me one more time? How exactly did it open you up? How did it destroy your ego?
It's just like when you are so present in your cold, it's like this flu cold is happening, right? It's like, for example, your body's aching and, you're very vulnerable as a physical way. And but I always have this kind of you can call it earned ability. It's like, but this earned ability is growing more and more. And I was more and more in it, more present naturally, day and night. Even whatever changes it was happening through that, and I was there. And then one time when I saw that, it's just like these things are just happening.
These physical things or these openings?
Like these sicknesses, these viruses.
Okay.
It's like I kind of understood the virus,
Okay.
but first it has destroyed my ego. It destroyed my belief system. Like, before I used to see it a little bit different way. I used to see it like, okay, let's see what is showing me now. Right? And this time I was already in being shown by it itself. And it's like without resistance, you going through, what string is being moved by this virus, we call it, right?
Okay.
Yeah, this flu, it's like it's like it's like as is, it's like was helping me to see myself. And it's just hard to explain it, but it's just like only I can say that even that time I was like, yes, it has destroyed my ego. It showed me hidden parts of ego, because it's like you don't know how these sicknesses are happening in our bodies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This time I totally dropped my hands. I don't know.
Okay. So you really surrendered to the process of what it did to you
Yes.
as it came
Totally.
through.
Totally. It's like I didn't reject anything. It's like I was, whatever was coming. Even whatever, like I don't even know what was coming, but only thing I remember was like, okay, yeah, it has destroyed my ego. Wow, what a joy to be in this sickness this time.
Wow.
And this is the first time I took a time off from because even before I had a flus and all that, but I always, it's okay, it's okay. But this time he says, no, be in this.
I could sort of see, obviously it was your experience, so I'm only understanding to the level that I am, but I can sort of see it creating a tremendous smallness when you truly surrender to an illness and just let it take you. It's like so much surrender, bowing your head. Like I can see that aspect of it as far as destroying the ego. I can relate to that like a little bit.
It's like you don't question.
Yeah.
You don't argue. You don't hide. You don't, you're not against it.
Yeah, I think I kind of understand. Let's see if I remember that the next time I'm sick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was so much, so much, so much. It's like a, it's like being showered by these happenings.
Mm.
But only when you move through consciously.
And let go of the personalness. Because the person doesn't want to feel sick, it's painful, it's uncomfortable, it wants to get better, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
Agenda.
it's just like I wasn't against anything, I would say. I wasn't against anything. Even if I take, somebody says, okay, take this stuff. I wasn't against it.
Okay.
It's like, whatever. If I have a pain, I need to take something and take it. It's like I didn't lift my finger to reject.
You didn't reject the illness and you didn't reject the medicine.
Yeah.
Wow. Feels like back to the flow. It feels like there's such a flow in that.
Yeah. Yeah. So the biggest part is, like, as I said, it destroyed my ego. That was amazing.
Yeah.
The ego about why people get sick or should be this way or should be that way. It's like even small things unconsciously.
Yeah. I see. I see. I see. Yes. I'm hearing you more now.
Yeah.
All that stuff kind of just gets in the way because there are so many beliefs, especially in even normal everyday people, but in spiritual groups sometimes about why you get sick or what the reason
Exactly.
is or what
Yeah.
caused it.
Yeah.
Like I know I
That was destroyed in me.
yeah, yeah. That's beautiful because I have a belief. I have health issue if I'm negative or I hate myself or I'm bad or there's a reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's funny. Maybe you'll resonate with this. Back to my friend Martine, I was talking to her a long time ago about sickness and stuff, and when I started to have some issues, physical issues myself, and she sort of said, I don't remember exactly. Her point was this: like, don't try to blame yourself or be hard on yourself because you have something. Just look at everything as an experience. We're here to experience life, and here, this is on your plate. You're here to experience this, so experience it, kind of thing, rather than blaming or coming up with a reason or coming up with some understanding of it, and I liked when she said that because there was so much openness to it. Like you had an experience and you allowed it to unfold inside you and it opened you, you know. Is understanding it as sort of secret control, I think, in me anyway.
Because when you just letting things come in, it's like in many ways it does not look like you're an intelligent person. I think this is where sometimes the people, they don't want to allow themselves to be, because you feel you can call it naive or stupid or something, like, because it doesn't look like it's intelligent way of being.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the end, the results are same like the way we start talking in the very beginning. Yeah.
And it's like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to say congratulations on being sick.
Yeah. Yeah. I was very, very, very happy. Very happy. Because even like before, it's like I never dismissed anything, even any kind of sickness came. But according to my ability that time, I was whatever I was discovering after each whatever I was going through. It was a very small way, but this time it was very, it was kind of a quite a big, I call it.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Big shift.
Mm. Mm.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. Because before I could say that, okay, you know what? Because I was holding on to that part, or I was holding on to that part, or I was believing in something, just small things. But this time it was really amazingly, it kind of cleared my vessel.
It's almost like I'm looking at it as something you take to clear out your system. It's something like something you drink to clear out your digestive system. You took it. The illness was that you drank it in, and it did its work, and it cleared you out, and then it left. It got evacuated or released or disposed of.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. But just remember, I didn't reject anything, any thought. Nothing I have rejected in this.
It's beautiful. I feel like we need to have part 2 of this open talk. There's so much. I didn't even look at my list of questions once. There's like 20 of them.
Yeah. This is really meaningful.
Very, very meaningful conversation. So beautiful.
Yeah, this conversation is like, it's like a written in our hearts. It's like that kind of conversation.
Mm,
It
that's
stays.
good. Yeah. I feel like all the time I've known you, I see you more purely and clearly than I have ever before. And I kind of, it's helping me see the path, like the walk and the
Mm,
flow more clearly than ever before.
mm, mm,
And the cost more clearly, like everything's just kind of more clear.
mm.
I'm really grateful for that. And I'm also grateful for just the feeling of gratefulness, like just to feel a touch of smallness, a touch of gratitude is so healthy for me.
Mm,
I feel like it relaxes my body.
mm.
I feel like it calms my mind. And it takes so much energy to be that big, arrogant balloon.
Exactly.
It's like you're fighting your nature. Like our nature is the flow. And when we get into this egoistic way, it's like we're fighting against our true nature, which is just like oneness. It's like it's so funny because our form is designed to dissolve away from the form. It's like it's our form is our vehicle. It's not our home. Maybe that's the best way to say it. Our form is
Mm,
our vehicle. It's not our home.
mm,
And when we confuse the vehicle for the home, we create all kinds of problems. It's just so to even have a taste of what I just said is incredibly healthy for me. I'm really
yeah,
so grateful for this conversation.
yeah. And I know it has or it will help others.
Good, good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And thank you. Thank you, your efforts to even bring all the questions and
It's my deepest honor and privilege,
mm,
deepest honor and privilege to bring these questions for myself and for the group. And
yes,
I'm honored to be able to have these talks with you, and they're so helpful for me. So thank you very, very much.
thank you,
I love you.
thank you, thank you. Thank you everyone.